have, we'll see what happens.
Well, I think we have a great topic to start with. I know that you had a question about a comment.
Hey,
So let's talk about going live and it not working.
yes, let's do that.
So in the past, before we knew what we knew,
Mhm.
we would have been like, oh my God, it's not working.
I know, I was
My
gonna
life
say, I
is
would have
over.
lost my shit.
Or like
Like,
me, you would have just thrown the
legitimately.
fucking egos, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh my god, why didn't it work? Oh my god, nothing works ever, huh? And
Yeah.
today's just like, "Okay, I guess we'll try this and see if it works, and if not, then it wasn't meant to be, and then who cares?"
Yeah. And I want to point out, you said that several times, by the way. And I tried to get you to catch it when we were on the phone, but several times you said to me, if it doesn't work, it's okay. We'll figure it out.
See, I
I'm
had to be
just
proven
saying.
right. I had to
I'm
be proven right, see? And I didn't even mean it as, like, something would go wrong. It's just
right.
like, "Well, we'll hit the button and we'll see what happens. Who cares?" And it's always fucking working, people, and it depends on the attitude that you come with it.
Yes.
Yes, we could have been pissed and be like, "It doesn't work, and we're not gonna make it work," and but here we are, and it's fine.
Yeah. That is one thing I can say about having an intentional buddy is that we catch each other's bullshit.
Mhm.
We can laugh about things, be like, oh yeah, we totally created that
Oh, how many
mess.
times are we talking where and it goes both ways, where
Mhm.
we'll be talking and it's like, Kimberly, did you just hear what you said?" Or you're like, Sonia, okay, like, I love you, but we're gonna stop right there."
Yeah. And so I probably should have called you out on it, but we laughed about it when you said it. And I
Yeah, and
was
like
like,
I
yeah,
said, I didn't mean it as, like, anything would come of it or it would be a problem to do this. It was just like, "Yeah, well, we'll just try it," and,
yeah.
like, I didn't see a reason why it wouldn't work, but and I was right.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, because I know that the only tag I saw was that Moons had joined us in the other one. So hopefully
Right.
people find us here. If not, they'll find it
Hopefully.
afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right. You had a question. You
I
started
did
with,
have a question. I got this comment. I was like, I would love Kimberly to talk about this and kind of give your opinion on this. I know exactly what I'm doing wrong, and I know when I when the negative pop thoughts pop up, but I'm not capable of switching them or swallowing them, etc.
the very first thing I caught was, I'm not capable.
I know, right? I'm not capable of doing this. Just like me
And
being like, we'll see what happens.
yeah. And as soon as you say not capable, my first thought is you have a low self esteem. Like you think you can't do shit. And if they could just let go of that statement and say, I am capable, I can do this. I know
I know
exactly what
exactly
I'm
what
doing.
I'm doing. Mhm.
Yeah. Yep. And not being capable, I
That goes into
definitely,
everything. It's not just you don't just feel incapable of doing this. That's in showing up in other areas of your life, whether you know it or not.
yeah. And so without knowing who this person is,
Mhm.
my first thought instantly is solar plexus. Like that's the chakra that anytime I hear someone say I can't do something,
That's where you
obviously
check
it's going to
first.
be in the crown and the third eye area, anything up in the head.
Right.
But 9 times out of 10, most of the clients I have worked with, and we're talking years here,
Yeah.
something in the solar plexus needs to get taken care of. And I would say all of the chakras need taken care of, but
Right.
solar plexus is like always the main one, especially when you're working with someone who their self-worth is just like the low self-esteem. I'm not capable. I can't do this.
Right.
And it's funny because I was actually thinking about making a TikTok about this and then a YouTube video. But I had a volleyball coach back in the day. I played club ball, and I won an award one year. It was
Yeah.
called the No Walls Award. We were not allowed to use the word try because you either do it
Mm.
or
Yeah,
you don't.
yeah, I agree with that completely. You do it or do not. Do or do not. There is no try, as Yoda put it.
Yeah, and so I have said that for years, and now I'm hearing it everywhere, and it's like in law of assumption, and I'm like, well, shit, I knew this when I was like 15 years old. What the hell? And I still have that plaque, that no walls. My coach would put me in and tell me exactly what to do, and I did it. I didn't try. I either did or I didn't.
Mhm.
So yeah, we've become complacent about, okay, well, I'll try.
Right. It
No, either,
becomes like a safety blanket. Like, well, if I fail, then
well, at
I
least I
tried.
tried.
Mhm.
It's like you're not taking responsibility for yourself.
Right.
And so either do it or don't. Now, I do believe in practicing. You have to
Oh, for
practice.
sure. Yeah.
Unless you're born a prodigy, you have to practice.
Well, and even the people who are born a prodigy, when they first sit down at a piano, they still have to like figure it out a little bit. You don't just sit down and play it without any, because you need to build the muscle memory of like playing the piano.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, see, we always come up with shit to talk about.
I know. So, what was your take on the part of that comment of I can catch the negative thoughts, which is progress. If you are becoming aware of when the negative thoughts come up, that is like the first part of it. But
Right.
then the rest of that was I can't shift it to something else
So she used
or
the,
push it down.
I'm assuming it was female. I
I
don't know
believe
why
so,
I feel
yes.
it's female. Okay. She used the word swallow.
Yeah,
And so again, solar plexus, swallowing that you can't do something, swallowing shit for no reason. You're just swallowing down your feelings and emotions, whatever. So she used the word
right.
swallow.
Mhm.
And if you're aware that you're doing something wrong, it's completely up to you to change it.
Right.
So you can have awareness. The problem is what are you going to do with that awareness?
Exactly. It comes
And
down
the
to the
rest,
choice of
yeah.
taking your awareness to something else. And for me, I don't know if this is like this for you, but my brain, when it starts going places I don't want it to, even sometimes when I am fully aware that that is what it is doing, I'll still have those thoughts as I affirm something else.
Hmm.
And I'm like affirming over it. But I still know that by me doing that, I am putting my focus on what I want. And it is so much more important to be sure that you're taking your focus off of the negative than it is like being sure that you're positive. I saw somebody, I don't know who he was, but I saw him on TikTok and he was like, is it more important to have less negative thoughts or more positive thoughts? And he's like, it's more important that you have less negative thoughts. So it's not about how much can I affirm, it's about where am I putting my focus the majority of the time.
So let me ask you this question. I think we get so caught up in positive and negative.
Yeah, for sure.
What if our thoughts, we could just be neutral about them?
Yeah.
So I I'll be the first one to
See,
raise my
Moons
hand.
agrees. She said, yes,
Yes.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So if you've been told that you have to say 100 positive affirmations or you have to be positive Polly all damn day, I'm sorry, that's exhausting.
It is exhausting.
And so if you can start looking at your thoughts as, oh, this is a thought, and asking yourself, and it does take practice.
It does. Yeah.
Anybody that tells you that auto shitism, because I don't like the other word, is easy, it is easy, but you have to fucking practice. There's no way around that. If you're not
No.
willing to commit the time and energy it takes to change your thoughts, do the energy work, whatever it is, to shift and change your life, bye,
Yeah.
because it's not going to work.
That's where I
And
talk
that's,
about it being a lifestyle. If you are not
it
going to adopt
is.
it as a fucking lifestyle, I honestly don't know what to tell you because it's like, okay, you wanna change this one thing or whatever, and it's like, okay, but what about all the rest of that stuff? And like we were talking about at the beginning, if your concept of yourself is I can't do this,
Mhm.
I don't give a shit how much you affirm or what you want. that underneath stuff is what you're being everything else is being based off of. It took me a while to realize the M word is a lifestyle. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
love you, Moons. Thank you.
me
The M
too.
word. I love it.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
takes discipline. Yes, it
Yeah.
does, Jasmine. It takes so much discipline. It is getting up every day and being like, I am going to do my absolute best with this. And being gentle with yourself when you have times where you're not as good with it. And being like, you know what? I did my best. And it doesn't matter that it wasn't perfect.
Oh, I should have worn my other shirt. Be real, not perfect. I love my shirts.
I
So
love
I
your
just
shirts too.
I want to throw in here. It's like because Jasmine said it's like a discipline. It
Hmm.
is.
It is.
It's like you wake up in the morning and well, and I'm gonna hope that y'all do this, and maybe you don't. No judgments. But you brush your damn teeth, right? So if you wake up in the morning, you can tell yourself the things that you want to be true,
Hmm.
just like you would brush your teeth every morning. Start your day that way.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely. And I'm gonna be just straight up honest. And Sonya knows because again, we talked. I think in the other video, we catch each other on our bullshit, right?
We do.
That's what intentional buddy is.
Hmm.
You got to have one. I recommend if you
Yes.
do not have an intentional buddy, find someone who is somewhat like minded. And that doesn't mean that Sonia and I do everything exactly the same because we're different people. You know, we teach and we guide things differently. But if you have an intentional buddy, they can catch you when you're saying bullshit stories. Like last week, I've been a little under the weather and I'm like, Sonia, where's my fucking money?
You did. I was like, Kimberly, where is this coming from? Calm down. And you were so upset about it
I
too.
was. And I just had to like vent and I was like, where is it?
Yeah.
And then after I said that, I was like,
You
you
caught
know,
yourself too. You were kind of like,
yeah, I'm like, what the hell is this? And then I'm like, Sonia, I have so much money coming in. It is unbelievable.
you were
And
like,
all I get
but
to
you're
do,
like, that isn't even true.
yeah, I know.
Why am I saying this? But that's how it happens sometimes. I had the same thing kind of happen yesterday. Some stuff happened with money stuff, and for some reason, I was like spiraling, and I'm like, Stop, just stop. That doesn't,
Mhm.
it's not necessary. You know that's not even true. You know that this could work out at any moment. Stop doing that. To be honest, eventually it becomes second nature.
It
Oh,
does.
why did my chat just like go away?
Yeah, I haven't figured
I
that out.
don't I don't know why it's doing that. It wasn't doing that when I went live by myself. It could be because
I see a little chat button. I don't know
yeah,
what
when
happened.
I hit it, it's like I don't know.
Did you hit the live chat? All messages are visible.
Let's see. Ah, there they are. All right. So Moon said, I say affirmations as soon as I wake up. I as soon as I am conscious enough to be aware that I'm awake in the morning, you bet your ass I'm saying things that I want to be thinking. To be honest, eventually it becomes second nature. The biggest
Mhm.
part is where your discipline is tested. The M word becomes second nature. It does. And like yesterday, I was even like, man, this is so out of character for me.
Mhm.
And just like you saying the other day, you're like, where is this even coming from? Because at
Yeah.
some point you do have that shift to where the things that were once affirmations are your natural thoughts, and until you experience that for yourself, it's kind of hard to believe that that's what happens. But I remember, and I couldn't tell you exactly when this was or how long I had been affirming, but I remember getting up one morning and those thoughts naturally playing in my head, and it kind of freaked me out. I
Sorry.
was like, those are the affirmations I've been saying.
I have a dog that locked himself in a room. Sorry,
Oh
guys.
no,
I don't know
I'm
how he
going
did
on
it.
an adventure.
Okay, Wyatt, come on, old man. Sorry.
Oh, poor Bubba.
Yeah, I
He's
don't know
like,
how he
Mom,
did.
I need assistance.
Oh my goodness, that dog! I swear. So I want to come back to something that, and I don't know who said it. I'm sorry, I didn't catch it because I didn't have the comments up. But the whole tested thing, I want to up level that. Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you. We're good.
Okay. So it's like when you're learning it, it's you're tested. It's it's not even so much that you're being tested. What's happening is the old shit that you've been carrying around in your body and in your energy, it's coming to the surface so you can acknowledge it and then choose, okay, is this what I want? Is this what, I don't want? And so it's not so much you're being tested when you're learning manifesting. I know I just said the M word, but you're not being tested.
Right.
It's that
That's
stuff,
such
it's
a
coming
big
to the
part.
surface.
Yeah, I agree. Because that's so much a part of the more like spiritual side of
Mhm.
things. They're all like, oh, you're being tested. And
And I'm not saying that's wrong.
yeah.
I
But they
just
keep
want to
saying it. It's like at a point you got to realize it
Yeah, I
comes down
just
to it
wanted
being a
to up
choice.
level that for whoever said that or anyone that's listening. You're not being tested. What's happening is the old shit's bubbling to the surface so that
Hmm.
you can look at it and either keep it or get rid of it.
Exactly. And that right there is where you're going to find your affirmations and the things that you
Mhm.
need to work on, whether that's within yourself or at the situation or whatever it is. So glad I found Love Assumption. I found it when I wanted my ex. The comments don't want to stay on my screen. I found it when I wanted to get my ex boyfriend back. Yikes.
Yeah. So Sonja is more tapped into the law of assumption. Like I have Neville Goddard's books. I have Florence Scovel Shinn. I have read so many M books that it's an exhaustive list. And so I can't speak a whole lot to law of assumption other than I know you just assume. And Sonia and I talked about this one day. I'm like, when I was a kid, I was told not to assume because if you assume, it makes an ass out of you and me.
Yep.
And so I'm like, oh my God, someone was trying to like keep the law of assumption from me at a young age. Who does that?
Don't feel like you have a choice in what you are going to think.
Yeah,
Base everything off of what's happening in front of you because that is what is true and the only thing that could
that's
possibly be
reality.
true. I know that's what we're taught, but when you realize that that is not how it works, oh man, is that not how it works?
Mhm. And you
And
can't unsee it after you see it.
oh yeah, no. No. You start going bigger and bigger and bigger with it is what you start doing. You're like, "Oh, what else do I need to like," and not like what else do I need to think like pay attention to, but like, okay, well if it worked with that, then it will work with this situation I'm in too.
Yeah. So I want to ask you a question.
Oh, it's over
Yeah,
once you know. Yeah, moons, that's exactly
absolutely.
it. It's over. Once you have it's like I don't know if you've ever seen have you ever seen the movie Tommy that's based off of the Who's rock opera?
I don't
Tommy?
know.
The whole thing is that he saw something happen in the mirror and now he can't hear, see, or speak, and then he breaks the mirror and everything changes. It's like that. It's like you can't unsee it.
Yeah,
You can't unknow it. You can't go back and be like, that was a fucking coincidence. It's like it wasn't a coincidence.
yeah.
None of this was a coincidence.
No, I'm a firm believer in synchronicities.
Mhm. And the more you get into this, the more you realize nothing is random and nothing is a coincidence.
Yeah. And you really can't make this shit up when you start
Oh,
seeing it.
no. No.
We've had so many crazy conversations about that.
Yeah, it's like, "Oh, Kimberly, this happened. Guess what?" It's like, "Yeah, that's crazy," but I say it's crazy, but it's like, "Yeah, of course that's what just happened."
Yeah.
100%, yeah.
Yep.
I
So
think
I
the
want to,
part oh,
oh, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say the part that I think can trip people up is when you're doing it in your head, but you're not seeing it in front of you.
Yeah.
Is it's just keep going and look for those signs and not I'm not a big fan of looking for the signs and synchronicities, but if you are doing the work, the signs and synchronicities are there.
Yeah.
And
We
you're going to
just
be
talked
like,
about that. Someone mentioned a blue chair, and I saw a blue chair in a movie. Someone said something about a black cat, and then the next thing I know, I'm seeing a black cat.
Oh, that cat that came up to you the other like, that one day. That was so funny.
Like, just really, you literally cannot make this shit up.
No,
When
and then we were on that call and the cat was behind you. Remember?
yes, I was like, "What the hell's going on?" I'm like, yeah.
You
So
were like, I almost couldn't not make a face because I was like, "Oh my god, there's cat."
yeah, I'm like, Sonia, what the hell's going on? What are we doing? Yeah, the reticular activating system, that
Mhm.
is something that's really big words for me, and I haven't gone to like look it up and what that means.
It's the part of your brain that once you are focused on something will show you more of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, totally. So I'm already doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
Oh, too funny.
Yeah.
So, can I ask you a question now? My squirrels, Sonia and
Yeah,
I,
if you guys are not into squirrels and just, like, going with the flow, then we are not for you.
yeah, we talk about all kinds of things and we bounce a lot.
Yeah.
So, you talk a lot about the law of assumption.
Mhm.
So, I just want to hear it in your words. When you got stuck with law of assumption, and I say stuck is just a general term,
Mhm.
do you think that connecting with your energetic body made a difference?
Oh, fuck yes, 1000%. So, I found the law of assumption almost 2 years ago.
Hmm.
I didn't understand because that was back when I was still very into law of attraction and was, like, debating whether, like, what was the thing? Like, how does this actually work? What's actually possible? What's actually real? I was, fighting all that. And when I found that it is just your thoughts and I started affirming, I was affirming, affirming. I was affirming like a crazy person. I know now that there was a lot that I was still allowing to be old shit, and I was predominantly thinking about old shit a lot of the time, but it was through my affirming that I ended up manifesting being able to go to acupuncture. And once I started that, that's when I really started to notice the difference in my mindset. And then when I
So
started working
I'm
with
going to
you.
interrupt you. How did you so what happened? I want to connect this dot because I've heard you talk about it a lot and I think it's really important.
Mhm.
What led you to acupuncture?
What led me
What were
to
you wanting?
I was having so in my head, I was affirming, "Isn't it wonderful? Everything's perfect." That was what I was focusing on.
Okay.
And in my physical world, I had been struggling with like mental stuff, hormonal stuff,
Mhm.
and I had yet again gotten a job and had to quit like a week later because I just couldn't handle it. And my family was like, "You need to do something. You've talked about going to acupuncture." My grandfather had tried acupuncture and had really good results with it. They're like, "Why don't you go to an like go to Chinese medicine and acupuncture and see what happens?"
Okay. So, what I'm hearing you say is I found law of assumption. I
Mhm,
was affirming,
mhm.
and what you were affirming led you and people telling you because you were having physical body symptoms,
Yep,
Sonia, try acupuncture. So then you
yep,
went to acupuncture. I think
yep,
people miss that. And I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just want to make that point. When
yeah,
you're affirming, whether it's losing weight or you want a partner or you want this or you want that, things are going to pop up that's going to bring you more of what you want. So
yeah,
Sonia found acupuncture. Maybe for me, it's supplements,
right.
whatever
And
it
I
is.
wasn't affirming, "I get to go to acupuncture, I get to go to acupuncture." It's funny because not long before that, I was like, "Man, I really wish I could go to acupuncture." And then that unfolded and it but again, that came from I was affirming. I was doing all the things I felt I was supposed to be doing. And then actually before it was like right around that time that I got on Mind Valley and was doing some energy courses on there. Then the acupuncture, then you I was like I really want to do this one class with somebody on there and then you started doing chakraology and I was like fuck yes, I have to do this. It was like a
Mhm.
no-brainer that I needed to learn more about working with my energy. And now knowing how to work with my chakras, between that acupuncture and some herbs that I've gotten from Chinese medicine,
Mhm.
my life is so different than it used to be. Like,
Yeah,
my mindset is so much easier to control. I don't like that word, but I don't know what else how else to word it, you know?
yeah. Kind of wrangle it.
Yeah, I have it so much more under control. I more
Yeah,
easily choose my thoughts, and it's so much less of the month that I have issues where I used to be like on this roller coaster with it. Now it's a lot more steady. And when it gets like yesterday, guess what I was doing? I was like, "Oh, I need my energy stuff," and it helped.
yeah. And so I want to ask you about this because so for those of you that don't know, because I don't talk about it, Sonia and I were in this, and I'm just going to say program. I'm not going to use that C word. Sonia and I were
We
in the
met
same,
in our law of attraction days.
in our law of attraction days, we were in the same program and we had the same coach. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm going to, that chapter, that door has been slammed closed, whatever. So that's how Sonia and I met. And we've had a lot of deprogramming to do.
It
And
wasn't just my life pre-manifesting, but it was all of that as well.
yeah,
And all the other misinformation I had heard from everyone else over the years.
yeah. And so that's where we met. And I honestly say that that's probably one of the main reasons why I went there was so that I could meet Sonia and we could
I
have this
agree.
conversation.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, because if all that wouldn't have happened, we wouldn't be here right now, so
mhm. So I want to talk about one of our favorite subjects. Can you guess what it is? And
we have
favorite, that was
so
sarcasm.
I know, I'm like, we have so many favorite topics, Kimberly.
Feelings.
Oh, feelings. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I had feelings yesterday.
So let's talk about that. And that's part of the reason why I'm asking you this question.
Yeah.
Did you judge the feelings that you had yesterday, or did you just allow yourself to be like, yeah, I'm in this moment, I'm going to be here?
I did not judge them, and I will say it's probably the first time ever that I didn't have it didn't even occur to me to judge it. It's just like, "Okay, I'm here. What am I gonna do about this?"
Yeah. And it's funny because I, the client I was working with yesterday, she had feelings and she was trying to analyze, well, why am I feeling this way?
Oh, I knew why I was feeling that way. I'm like, "Okay, my 3D did something, and now I have a choice in what I'm gonna do within myself about it, because the outside circumstance I can't deal with at the moment,
Hmm.
but I get to choose." And that's where I go to Isn't It Wonderful? When I just need something to make, you know, not even make me feel better, because it didn't really make me feel better, but just to make sure that my mind isn't making it worse. Isn't
Right.
it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful?
So, do you, and I guess what my question is, or why I'm asking this, is that I think a lot of times people, with the law of assumption, and again, this is just my take on it, my own opinion, but they don't really talk about the feelings. And from my own work, feelings are important.
Right.
Like it's, you have a feeling for a reason, but you don't
Mhm.
have to understand that reason. Like you don't
Right.
have to go into that, you know, paralysis of being analyzing, like, why am I feeling this way? You can
Right.
acknowledge the feeling. And that's where I think the body plays a part in it. Like if you're having a feeling, don't stuff it down and just doing the assuming part of just fixing it so fast. Because
Right.
if you don't deal with it, then it's going to come back up.
Mhm. Yeah, I feel like that was just old stuff that just needed to be released.
Hmm.
'Cause it released. Because usually it would be something that would be more drawn out, but today I feel completely different and nothing in my physical world has changed. I'm
Right.
still in the same situation, that I was yesterday, but today I'm not upset about it.
But
It's
we
gonna
were
work
taught to
itself
sit in
out.
our fucking feelings for weeks on end.
Oh my god, when it was feel your feelings, I it was weeks, months of me being like, "Oh, I must have more feelings to feel. Okay, so I should go, like, I'm crying now. I'm crying, I'm crying, I'm crying. Now I'm angry." Am I doing a good job feeling these feelings? Like,
Yeah, I would sit there and I would literally try to make myself cry. I'm like, okay, if I got feelings, they need to come out because I'm done with this shit. Like, I don't, and so I think that feeling your feelings is important. Like, I don't want to gloss over it. And I know
yeah,
that a lot of people do. It's either you sit in your feelings and you got to like digest all of it's almost not digest. You have to dissect every single thing.
right. Well, and I think for me, realizing that while I'm upset, I can be upset and still affirm something like, "Isn't it wonderful?" That is where the big change happened for me because I stopped judging the feeling. I stopped asking why I felt this way. I stopped trying to analyze it, like you said, and I just would let myself feel it. But up here, I'm still focusing on what I want.
Yeah. Well, thanks for letting me put you in the hot seat.
Oh, yeah.
I
I trust you to put me in the hot seat.
Well, I realized that like literally, if you truly allow yourself to feel a feeling, the
Mhm.
longest it's ever taken me for a feeling to move through my body so that I know that I'm letting it go in my brain and in my body is 15 minutes. So I'm gonna share my ego story here, but I wanted some egos. I got pissed off. I threw my egos. So literally, we're talking about, and I don't know what triggered it or why I was angry, but I had anger in my body. It needed to come
Mhm.
out.
Yeah.
So I just allowed myself to throw a temper tantrum. 5 minutes, maybe 10 tops. Then afterwards, my son's like, "Well, aren't you embarrassed?" Like, "Mom, why did you do that?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not embarrassed. I feel better. I'm done now. It's like it's over."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
yesterday I had some waves of it, but it was not like all day. It wasn't every time that something comes up that does upset me in that way, it's less and less, happens way less often, and I have so much less judgment toward it and, like, I don't beat myself up for it anymore, and I know that it doesn't have anything to do with my ability to get what I want.
yeah, exactly. You can be angry and still get the shit you want.
Oh, yeah.
So that
Oh, yeah.
whole we talked about earlier, the whole positive negative.
Mhm.
The subconscious brain doesn't know the difference, I don't think. What's
No.
positive and negative? It's the only
Yeah.
thing it knows on is what you're focused on.
Yeah, what are you feeding it the most? What
Yeah.
is on repeat in your head? Where is your focus the majority of the time? I agree with that. People are like, your subconscious doesn't pick up the negative. It's like, it picks up everything, and you are the one deciding if it's positive or negative.
Yeah,
Because
you
if
get to consciously filter it all.
exactly, but it's like if it was deciding that, you you've been really negative recently, maybe we should give you something positive. Yep, feelings don't manifest. Yeah, that's been my experience too, Moons.
Yeah.
I spent years trying to be like, my feelings manifest. So, tra la
Oh
la la la
yeah.
la la.
What's your feeling? My feeling is happiness. Okay, go activate that. What? No. So I just affirm.
Mhm.
I say every day I say I'm happy, healthy, and abundant.
Yeah.
And I just got sick, but I still say I'm happy, healthy, and abundant. Getting sick doesn't mean that I created that. I obviously needed rest and some other things. It's fine. I didn't judge getting sick. There were days where I'm like, oh my God, I'm tired of being sick. But I'm like, okay, what does my body need? Oh, it needs a nap. Great, let's go take a nap.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I love that. You do not manifest your feelings. I do feel that your feelings are a reflection of what's going on up here
Oh, yeah. If
and
you
what's
start,
going on in your body.
yeah. If you are thinking something that upsets you over and over and over again, eventually you're going to physically get upset.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah. So fun. What do you want to talk about next? Anybody
I
have
don't
any
know.
questions?
I was just gonna say, anybody have questions that topics you guys want us to talk about? Because I see there's some people on here. I'll try and I don't know why the can we go into states? Well, states are just the state that you are thinking from. So if you are thinking about not having what you want, that is a state. or having what you want and everything being perfect is a state. So, like, let's say Kimberly being sick. If she would have been like, I'm sick, everything sucks, I manifested this, nothing's working, that's a state. But she chose the state of, I'm going to be here now and do what I need to do.
So can I add to that, Sonia?
Hmm.
I think what trips people up, and again, I haven't fully read Neville Goddard,
Hmm.
but that book was written back in a time when the language was different.
I know. That's what I think
So
people
instead of a
forget.
state, what if it's like your mindset?
Yeah.
Like,
What's
what
your mindset?
mindset are you in?
Hmm.
Because every time I hear the word state, and I still do it, and I understand what
Okay.
you're talking about,
Yeah.
and I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Right. Well, you have to remember, so Neville first learned about the law from Abdullah in like 1933. It's been almost 100 years.
That's a long time ago.
Neville published his first book in like the mid 30s, I think. His last book in like the 60s. And even if you read other books from the 60s, the vernacular and the way that it's written is very different than things are now. And
Yeah.
it just means, what are you focused on?
Yeah, I really think, and I think that's what we're doing. You and I and others out there, we're tired of the M word.
I'm
And
tired of the M word so much. I'm tired of all the bullshit. I'm tired of people making it so complicated when it's not as
yes,
complicated as they make it to be. We need new words for this that people can
yes,
understand so they can get results.
yeah, because and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to throw us off the whole question. I think the name was Micah, maybe.
Yeah, we can go
Um,
back and forth.
but I think that for me, whenever Sonia says the word states, I'm thinking about, okay, what mindset am I in?
Right. What is your
And
mindset? What is your dominant focus? What are you
mhm,
thinking about? Is it what you want or is it what you don't want? Because whatever you are focused on the most and thinking repeatedly the most is what you are going to be shown.
yeah. I'm gonna apologize in advance. The mailman is coming, and so the dogs may
Uh
bark.
oh.
I'm growling, so and I don't know how to mute myself, so I really apologize if they bark.
We're okay
Um,
with that. Do we have more that we want to say on states, or we want to move on to the next? I mean, I think this comes from the Bible, but I know that Neville also talks about it as being in different rooms in a house. Like, one room is one state and one room is another state, and it's just thinking different thoughts than what you are currently thinking. As long as you are focused on what you want and you're not allowing things like yesterday, the things outside of me that were upsetting me, and it was like, oh my god, this could all go to shit. That's one state. Or this is going to work itself out, everything's good.
yeah.
Those are states.
So did we answer Micah's question?
Let's see if I can find the chat and
Was there something more specific you wanted to know about states or
I don't
mindset?
know. Let's go back over, let's see. Can we go into states and then that is all. So is there any other questions on states we can go back over? Let's see. Abdullah was a boss man. That man has been
The states you
living his best life. He could eat, drink whatever he wanted without being affected. I mean, he lived his best life. Oh yeah.
Okay, so and I'm sorry if I mispronounced this. Michael, it looks like Michael. I couldn't read it at first because I didn't have my spectacles on. Michael did respond as to
With states, you just think any thought that aligns and not only just one affirmation. Yeah, so when it comes to affirmations, and this is just my take, so tell me what you think, Kimberly. If for me, when I first started doing this, my brain is very chaotic. And so for me, it was extremely hard to just pick a thought in the moment. That upped my anxiety. It made me a fucking disaster area, and I couldn't do it. So for me, having a set affirmation or a few set affirmations was what allowed things to change for me, because it was like, okay, I'm thinking about this topic. I don't like the way that it is. These are my new thoughts about it. But it does not mean that if you are not thinking those 1 to 3 affirmations that you are doing it wrong. Is what you are thinking in alignment with what you want, or is it not? Do I like this thought or do I not? Do you agree with that?
I do, and I'm going to add in here, and that this is more my specialty. Is I started with energy work. So being a Reiki master teacher, which I don't like titles, working with chakras, all the energy work itself, pranic healing.
Right.
When you're energetically aligned, it is easier to align your thoughts with what you want. Like it's almost automatic for me.
Yeah.
And you and I talked about that the other day. So when I when I honored my no and left the old program, energy work was something that was really important to me because it's like I wasn't in alignment anymore. And as soon as I started doing those things, my thoughts became more in alignment with what I wanted. So I didn't have to work so hard to fix, change, affirm, all the things. And I honestly, you and I did like this 30-day challenge and we came up with these 5 affirmations. And
Yes,
I
we
don't
did.
even say them. I just say I'm happy,
Yeah.
healthy, and abundant. Like those
Yeah.
3 words nail my life. Like everything I want, that's what I'm in alignment with. I'm happy, I'm healthy, and I'm abundant. And
Right.
abundant covers everything for me anyway. So yeah, I don't know if I answered that question properly, but I just know that there's a connection between being aligned energetically, and then it makes it easier for me when I have those bullshit thoughts come in. Like last week, I asked you, Sonia, where's my fucking money?
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Like, because it wasn't even true. But I was like, that's not even true, Sonia. And so you catch it so much quicker.
Right.
But if you're not aligned and you're not used to doing this, you really have to be it's almost it's almost like you have to tattle on yourself.
Mhm. Yeah.
You have to call yourself out on your own bullshit. And I'm going to say again, get an intentional buddy, but get with someone who will call you out on your bullshit. And you have to be open, like you have to be completely open to someone saying, "Hey,"
Mhm.
like, and you
Check
do that
yourself
for
right
me.
now.
You're like, "Kimberly, is that's bullshit, right?" Like, is right?
Right. Because I've heard what you've been saying
Yeah,
up
I've
until
been, yeah,
now. Like,
mm,
where does this coming from?
yeah. And then Sonya will say shit, and I'm like, "Girl,
Yeah.
really? Are you
Yeah.
sure?"
Hmm.
So, yeah, I again, and I tend to ramble, so I apologize. My squirrels sometimes just take over. Hopefully, something that I said just resonated and that
Right.
answered the question about states and mindset and all the things.
Okay. So let us know if you guys want more on that, but something up here, and I think this is a perfect segue. How can we regulate our nervous system? Which is a perfect Kimberly question.
So, and I don't know how to pronounce this word. So, just full disclosure, I am not scientific. I am not a doctor. I am not a therapist.
Yeah.
These are things that I have learned. There are still things that I want to read about. I am constantly wanting to evolve and grow myself. So I will never stay in this constant 3D reality. Like today is amazing, tomorrow is going to be even fucking better.
Hmm.
So
In here.
there is something that so I always start with my chakras. That's where I learned it's something that's quick, it's simple, it's easy to align yourself energetically.
Yeah.
And then there's something else for your nervous system specifically, which is so awesome that this question was asked because there are videos on YouTube that I'm not the expert. So you're, and again, not scientific. I'm probably pronouncing this wrong, but I know how to spell it. It is your vagus nerve. So there is a vagus nerve that you can do things with your ears. You can lay on your back and do like eyeball things. And I've also learned with chronic healing, there's like it's called well shit, what's it called? I don't have my book right here. Super brain yoga. And I can teach that, so I'll do a video on that later. Because I totally forgot about that. Thank you for
See?
this question. I love this. So, and it's so isn't it amazing, Sonia, that literally last night the vagus nerve popped up in my YouTube feed because now I'm talking about it.
Of
And
course
again,
it
I'm
did. You needed the reminder because we needed to be prepared. See? Did we
yeah.
plan anything for this live?
Oh no. We even said, should we like make notes, like what questions or this? And we're like, no, we're just gonna wing it because that's what we do.
And
So
when
your
you got
vagus
proof
nerve
of what you're thinking about, manifest, I will keep up that first part of
instantly.
the fake, first part live.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So your vagus nerve, go watch something on that. And there's something to do with somatic is the term. But there are things that you can do for your nervous system that doesn't require a doctor, a therapist, or whatever. And again, that is something that I want to go learn more about. And there's myofascial, well, they call it a fascial release. And as an ex licensed massage therapist, I know what myofascial release is because you carry emotions and trauma in the body, in the muscle. There's that muscle memory. And I guess you could use, so again, this is my opinion. I guess you could use the law of assumption that says that I don't have shit trapped in my body. That feels
People
like a
do
lot of
that.
work.
I've heard those stories where they just,
Yeah.
like, things just disappear, so
Yep.
but again, if you are affirming that things are good, just like me with acupuncture, things will unfold in a way to prove you right.
Yes. And even the thing with like acupuncture, going back to that and talking about the nervous system, because it is our mind and our body and our spirit, it's all connected. Even if you're affirming that everything is perfect, you may be led to the vagus nerve massage technique with your
Just
ears.
like it popped up with you last
Yes,
night.
exactly. So people think that they're just going to think something and then it's just going to disappear. And we've talked about this. Like you said, you get a lot of things about, I'm affirming we're married. And it's like, but you're not even dating yet.
Mm.
And so could you like literally wake up in somebody else's bed tomorrow and be married? No, that would be really weird. Like your body would have a response to that. That would
Yeah,
be
I
fight or flight
literally
mode.
saw somebody on TikTok, they're like, "Yes, weird things can appear and disappear and things like that. That happens all the time. You have experienced that more than likely. But when it comes to those bigger quantum jumps, if you will, that is not going to
Moods.
happen because you would literally go insane."
Yeah. Yeah. So I hope I answered the question of the nervous system, how to work with that. Again, I'm not the expert. I personally want to learn more about that
Yeah,
because I am really into the energy work. Um and so check out the vagus nerve. There's like I said, YouTube literally last night, and we're talking less than 12 hours ago. So
that popped up for you.
yeah, see, you cannot make this shit up.
Mm-mm. The other person you can check out, I know she's on YouTube. I can't remember what the YouTube channel is Donna Eden. She has her energy medicine and does a lot with like the meridians and different things that you can do to move energy. She's got stuff on YouTube to help with that as well. But yeah,
Yeah. And what Moons just said, that yes.
I saw that. She's like, and if uh and we
Yeah. I know she
palpitated if that
doesn't. Thanks,
happened.
Moons. Mwah, I love you.
Manifesting mostly happens in a way that feels natural to you. Everyone is different. Yeah. Most things will manifest so naturally that you're going to question if it even was a manifestation or if it was just a coincidence.
Yeah. So, and I think that just to circle back because my scrolls, sorry, I think that was Jasmine that asked about the nervous system.
It
So,
was.
did we
Yes.
answer your question, Jasmine? And again, I recommend the chakras is the easiest thing to start with when it comes to energy work. In the chakras, that is connected to your nervous system. It's connected to your whole body, so
Mhm.
you can start there.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like you don't have to know all the things.
No, start
And
with one thing and know
mhm,
that that's giving you something. And the more that you, again, the repetition is the most important thing.
yeah,
Choosing and doing your best. Practice.
when you say that you are healthy, whatever that means for you specifically, that information is going to come to you. It wants to come to you. It's waiting for you to ask and state that I am healthy. So for Sonia, it was acupuncture. I still get massages. I work with my chakras. And then the vagus nerve just came to me. And there's things that I learned a long time ago that I forgot that I knew. I'm like, oh yeah, I studied that. Duh. It's coming back into my conscious self.
Right.
So awesome.
Yeah,
Hey,
and that's where
Jasmine.
it's like my wheelhouse is more of the mindset stuff and you've got the other stuff, so that's why I know we were meant to work together because I from my experience, this stuff goes together, but I'm not an expert at all that stuff, and I love that I
Well,
have
and I don't
somebody
even
who
like that
is.
word.
Yeah.
I don't even like that word
I
because
know somebody who can help you in that department.
yeah, we are, for me anyway, I can't speak for Sonja. I know we've talked about this, so I'll let her answer that for herself. But
Yeah.
if I'm not growing, learning, and expanding, then I should be dead. I mean,
Yeah,
honestly,
I
there's no
agree.
purpose for me here.
Yeah.
I love to learn, and I really think that you shouldn't just stick with one person. Go read things, see what resonates. Like my grandpa told me a long time ago, keep what resonates, leave the rest.
Yes,
No matter
that's the
what
key.
area of your life it is.
Mhm,
Go learn
mhm.
new things. And if it's not for you, then be like, great, peace out. I'm going to go check out this other thing.
Yep, if I tell people, it's like, if it's something that you hear and you're like, "Oh, I know," then it wasn't for you, let it go and keep what you got, what was useful out of that and let go of the rest. It's not all meant for you. This is not a one size fits all. You cannot do it right or wrong. You have to figure out what is right for you. And that is where people get tripped up is they are looking for like the right answer. And then it's, well, this person said this and that person said that. And you need to do what works for you.
Yeah, I would say that, and that's again, that's why I talk about the chakras. When you align your chakras, you trust your own inner guidance, that inner
Yeah.
knowing, your intuition. Like, and the answers, the solutions, they just show up because you're in alignment. You don't have to go searching for them. I can't tell you the time. And the only time I go search for something is because I'm guided to go Google something,
Right.
you know?
Right.
So awesome.
Let's see. I'm trying to find other questions here. Let's
And
see.
I'm just gonna, while she's looking for questions, I so appreciate you, Moons, getting down the auto shitism. I love it. We'll have to do another live, Sonia, where we talk about how that unfolded
Oh, hell yeah.
and share with them how intentional winging it works and
Yes.
why you have an intention buddy.
Oh, I'm up for doing this as often as you want to. Like, this is so much fun.
Maybe we'll put it on our schedule for once a week. Let's see
That
what
would be cool.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Though I'm not wavering, you are things. Why are things the opposite? Though I'm not wavering, why are things the opposite?
It
So I'm
hasn't shifted in
affirming.
your reality yet.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I
And you're
agree.
questioning it.
Yeah. So you're doubting and you're wondering where it is. So you are
And I'm
wavering,
not
even though you're
laughing or
not
making
noticing
fun
it.
of the person who said that because I've been there. I get it. I feel you. It's like, and
Literally last week, you're like, "Where's my fucking buddy?"
I know, right? So it's like, and you think in your brain, you're like, I'm not wavering, but in some way, shape, or form, you are because you're
Yeah.
asking. It's not here, so where the fuck is it?
And that was me when I first found affirmations. And even I catch myself doing it still, but it was like I thought I was affirming so much. And again, as if you are looking to the 3D and being like, it's still not the way I want it to be, that's wavering. That is a form of wavering. So again, and like we were just saying, more than likely you are not going to have a drastic instant shift
Mhm.
because you have to be able to physically and mentally comprehend that.
So let's talk about this. This is perfect. So sorry, I'm excited. So she says I think it was a she. Sorry, I don't see the comments, you guys, or
Yeah, I don't know. The
where they are.
comments are being weird, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay. So, and if it's not a she, I apologize. But if let's take Neville Goddard's ladder. Sonny and I have been talking a lot about this last week.
Mhm.
So whatever you're affirming, is it a big thing? Like it is it the end? I'm going to use the word goal, which I don't like that word.
Well, let's use an example. Do you want to use like marriage or like money?
I laugh at marriage, but go ahead. You pick. Doesn't matter.
Let's use money. I use marriage
Okay.
as the example all the time. So let's use money. Let's say that you want $10 million, but you've never manifested money before.
Mhm.
Do you feel comfortable and you really believe that you can think about $1 million and get it. If you are not used to manifesting, if you are not used to keeping your thoughts in check,
So I'm
does
gonna
that
rewind to lots of years ago and be like, no.
I know, right? No.
I used to
Especially
think the only way I could get money was to win the lottery. And then the only way to win the lottery was you had to pay or play. And then I'm like, but I'm having trouble putting food on my table. So why am I going to go buy a lottery ticket? That's wasting money. And there's all these different layers of like the bullshit things I would say to myself.
right. And when you start affirming for that $10 million, all of it comes to the surface. All of it.
Yeah. And your body and your brain cannot adjust. I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm going to
It
say this,
can
and
happen. I am
it
not going to
can
sit here and
happen.
say it couldn't happen. But
Yes.
I feel like you're setting yourself up for failure for doing it that
Mhm.
way. I really, really honestly do. And I have been seeing that on TikTok. I've had multiple people be like, it's relationships. Taken it off of the marriage and now I'm in contact. They've been contacting me, they've been texting me, and it's taken them days to make a shift that they've been working toward for months.
Yeah. So, and I would say with money, again, it's going to be that same concept. But,
Yeah.
and I honestly think this is the main problem when it comes to money. People pick these big, and it's not even that you're not allowed to,
Yeah.
but I don't even know that it feels comfortable in your body. So ask your body, does this feel too big for me?
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with manifesting. I know I said that word, cringe, but start with a fucking dollar.
Start with a penny if you have to.
Yeah, even a
Get a
penny.
penny. Oh my god, I thought about a penny and it showed the fuck up. Holy crap,
Yes.
it worked. Then go up from there.
Yeah.
You are
And
going to
so
get to your $10 million if that's really your goal so much faster.
and so that's why I brought up the ladder, because you have your 10 million up here, but you're down here. So the next step would be, let's find a penny, or let's get a penny.
Right.
Okay, let's do a nickel, let's do a dime, let's do a quarter. So you're climbing that ladder constantly?
And you don't even have to go in that order. If you get the
No.
penny and you're like, I could get 20 bucks. Awesome. I got 20 bucks. Do what works for you.
Yeah. What's the next what's the next step?
Yeah.
Allow that to come to you.
Right.
Like
Well,
Sonia
and I
just said, it
know,
doesn't have to be in order. You can go
right.
from a penny to 20 bucks.
Yeah. But it's still, you had the success of manifesting a penny.
Mhm.
Okay, I did this. I have like a idea of how I did it. I can do it bigger. I
Mhm.
know that Neville said that if you could manifest climbing up and down the ladder with the ladder technique, you could manifest $1 million. But I also know that his main affirmation for money is I have a lavish, steady,
Yes.
dependable income, consistent in integrity, and mutual benefit. He was not teaching people to go for giant amounts of money that they could not comprehend.
Yeah, and that is one thing that I can say, like, I 100% agree with everything you just said, and I just had an aha that I didn't I don't even know what I would do with $10 million. And so from the old program, I know I'm talking about it. So sorry, Sonia. But if
From
I
the
hadn't
old
gone
days. We'll
through
just call it the old days. Can we call it the
the
old
old
days,
days,
meaning
okay.
law of
So the
attraction
old
days?
days, when I was asked, what would you do with $10,000, or what would you do with $1 million? That actually brought it into like reality for me. Like, really, what would and I don't need $10 million. $10 would be fun, but I don't need that much money like today to feel happy and abundant and healthy. Like when I really got down to the nitty gritty of it all, like I'm like, I don't, it's not the material things, it's the experiences that I want. And I think sometimes our brain just goes, well, if I had $10 million, I wouldn't be poor. I wouldn't be struggling. I could go on vacation. You could do all these things if you had $10 million. You can still do those things and not have $10 million.
You can have that money and not pay for any of it. I didn't pay to go to acupuncture. I had somebody who's been paying for that for me. So
Yeah. Yep.
the things you need will show up one way or another. You don't get to control it. The only thing you have the say in is to choose what you are going to think about.
Yeah.
We up for another question? See what else
Sure.
is going
Yeah,
on.
I've got time. I've got errands today.
All
I got
right.
mom duty. I got mom duty. I feel like I live at the store. Damn kids.
They eat all your food.
They do.
What about robotic affirmations? If
That's
that
your
is some
wheelhouse.
again, you guys, it's all about how you naturally think. If your brain is like mine, where it just is like then robotically affirming helps me because I don't have to think of it like I don't have to come up with a bunch of shit to think about. But if you think in pictures, I think in words. If you think in pictures, then robotic affirmations aren't going to do jack shit for you. The
I
whole
can add to
point.
this.
What was that?
I said I can add to this.
Go ahead.
So I think maybe ask yourselves this question. How do you learn?
How
Are
do
you
you
a
learn?
bit
I always tell people, how do you think? Have you paid attention to how you think? I never
and
paid attention to how I think and had no idea until somebody asked me. They were like, I was working at the restaurant. It was one of the other servers. She's like, I had this weird conversation with my brother, my stepmom, and my dad. And it was, I don't know how they got on the topic, but they realized that her and her dad, when they like think of things, they can imagine things vividly like it's in 4D. Her mom or her stepmom could they get things in pictures and her brother would get nothing as a visual.
yeah.
I
So
didn't
I'm
know
just
that people thought differently, but they
when
do.
you ask that question, I'm like, Sonja, I don't know how the fuck I think. I don't know. So that's why I'm like, but I can tell you how I learn.
Mhm.
Like I have to see something visually and then I have to physically do it. So some people can go sit in a big auditorium. I think I even talk about this somewhere. They can sit in an auditorium and hear what they're being taught. And for me, I'm like, oh no, the squirrels, they run wild. I'm like on vacation in the Bahamas while I'm learning about whatever the topic was. Like, I would not be present. I would literally tune out. I do not learn auditorily. So, knowing how you learn, that will help you determine what auto shitism technique, whether it's robotic affirmations or it's intentional scripting or intentionivity, and using Sonya's what she says, if you know how you think, and I'm saying if you know how you learn,
It's
those
basically just what when you are thinking about the
Mhm.
thing that you want and you're thinking about it in a way you don't want it to be. What is that like for you? Okay, now take that and do it in a way that is representing what you want to be happening instead. So, is that a visual? Is that words? Do
yeah,
you want to spend time scripting? Robotic affirmations, like I said, I think in words. I hear words in my head all day long. So, robotic affirmations keeps me thinking, being like, isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? It is what I need to do to keep my thoughts in check. So, what
yeah.
about
And for
robotic
me,
affirmations? It's up to you.
I like to write. Like that's for me, that's it's almost like I'm imprinting it on my subconscious by me writing it. And I don't know where I picked this up, so I'm not saying that this is a thing. I'm sure it may be, doesn't really matter. But for me, for it to really like sink in, I write things 3 times. Even like when I'm learning something, I take notes and I literally write it out word for word so that I'm seeing it, I'm writing it. And then after that, I have tons of notebooks that it's basically useless because I've kept the
Just
information up
written
here.
things in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and for me, like yesterday, I was robotically affirming, but I don't feel like I need to spend all my time affirming anymore. Like we were talking about in the beginning, my natural thoughts are my affirmations.
Yeah.
So the way that you handle your thoughts will shift and evolve the more that you do it. But when it comes down to it, your reality, your manifestations, your life is a reflection of the way that you think about things.
Yeah. And when I hear people say that, it's exhausting, and it can be,
Yeah.
but even that thought itself, it's exhausting saying robotic affirmations or saying affirmations all day long. Boo hoo. The problem is that you're saying it's exhausting. Tell yourself that I can say whatever, however many affirmations you want to say a day, and quit saying the shit story that it's exhausting.
Yeah,
And I'm not saying that in the beginning it's not, because you
right.
do feel like you're just like, there were times where I
Especially when
felt
you're
like I
not
was
seeing
chasing my
results.
tail. Yeah.
Especially when you're not seeing results.
But you've got, and I don't know the ages here. Like if you're in your teens and you're watching us, which that'd be fucking awesome. But this is something that if we can now, as us, if we can start teaching others at a younger age, they're not going to be my age trying to figure this shit out. Like
Right.
it should be everywhere. Every person, every community, every culture, every the whole world should know this shit. Could you imagine how much better the world would be if we just taught this shit? Like forget school. Learn your
Can you
basic math,
imagine
learn
what
how
is
to read and
possible?
write.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rest of it I think is bullshit. Sorry, that was off topic.
No, but I agree. If you don't know this, then the rest of it.
Yeah. Like I wish they were teaching this in school because this will get you further in life than all that other
Right, because
bullshit.
anybody who is successful is using this whether they're doing it intentionally or not.
Yeah.
This is how they were successful.
Yeah. So, sorry, that was a rant. Ooh, did you feel that? Got fired up.
Oh, I feel like it needed to be said. Let's see. The 3D is the past, and maybe you are unconsciously focused on the 3D. This where you guys mean manifestation is a lifestyle. Eventually, the brain will accept the big things. You guys are right, even though nothing is too big or too small. But in the society we live in, we have been brainwashed to believe this concept of small and big. I absolutely agree with that. And I feel like the more that you practice manifesting, it probably will, you may get to, let's say you get to that $10 million and you're like, I could manifest $100 million and it wouldn't be anything. But again, but you put in the practice of getting yourself from I have never manifested money to $10 million.
Yeah, exactly. I only saw one other question, but again, they pop up so fast. I
I
think it was
know, they're being
big,
weird.
big.
Oh, let's see. So you mean when someone says I'm not capable of, she, he, or he has a low self-esteem? Going back to the beginning.
Yeah, I will elaborate on that. So I
And real
definitely,
quick, Moons also said, Kimberly, yes, this is true. The world would be different. Yeah,
yes, they
I
would.
1000% agree.
So going back to the self-esteem thing, um, I'm going to say that you need to balance, align all of your chakras. If you just want to start with one, so the solar plexus, low self-esteem, low self-worth. If you're saying I'm not capable or I can't do this, it's because you don't have trust in yourself.
Yeah.
And but again, there's all the chakras are connected. So it could be the heart chakra. I don't know you and I haven't scanned you and I'm not doing energy work on you. So your heart chakra is self-love. I mean, if you don't love yourself, you honestly cannot love others. You can try,
Mhm.
but you're bullshitting yourself. And I guess maybe with law of assumption, you can absolutely do that. Don't love yourself, but you can love others. I'm going to call bullshit, but you do you. The other piece of
With
that,
that, just real quick, with that,
yeah,
you have to remember that your
self concept.
yeah, your self concept, the thoughts you think about yourself, the things you believe about yourself, how you feel about yourself, how you treat yourself, that is the basis of your belief system, which is then being mirrored back to you in the situations that you're in, your relationship to other things and other people. All of it comes back to you.
Yeah. The other chakra I would say is your root. Again, they're all connected. Like I don't want to pick and choose a chakra, but your root chakra is like your survival, like your willpower. Like if so again, I'm just giving you some quick highlights on what chakras, but you really need to align them all.
Mhm.
If you do not, if you're saying something like I'm not capable or I can't do this or I'm not worthy or why me, any of those like low self degrading kind of comments to yourself, then yeah, that is totally connected to your self-worth and your self-esteem. So I hope that answered. I think it was easy. Kiko. I don't know how to pronounce
I'm
your name.
not
I'm so sorry.
yeah, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name either, but yeah, it's in conjunction again with the thoughts that you are telling yourself. If you are consistently telling yourself that you can't do this, you're right.
Yeah.
And if that comes from you don't believe in yourself or whatever, behind it, and that's where people talk about the robotic affirmations, and this is something that I've noticed listening to a bunch of different people talking about this stuff is some people swear upside down and backwards all you need is like your one robotic affirmation and you can change everything. And then other people are like, no, you need to focus on self-concept. That's where everything is. The people who are robotically affirming with one affirmation, let's take I have the perfect relationship. What they are doing is any thoughts that come up about themselves, about their relationship, about this other person, about any of it, they are bypassing it and choosing that I am in a perfect relationship, meaning I am lovable, I am worthy, I am deserving of this relationship. My person is amazing, my relationship is perfect. All of that stuff is being, I can't come up with another word other than bypassed. It's that one affirmation is allowing those people to be like, the rest of that crap doesn't matter because this is now true. And if that does not work for you, that is where you need to work on your self concept and be like, okay, right now I'm thinking, well, why would this person want to be with me? That's where you need to tell yourself, because I'm amazing. I am the best person. I'm the most amazing person on the planet. I am lovable. I am worthy. I deserve to have what I want. That's where it is going to be different for everyone. What is going to work best for you?
And that's where I say that if you work within the chakras, literally 5 minutes a day, you guys.
Mhm.
And these videos are on my channel. Sonia has told you that they're on my channel, but you can go listen to a meditation. Actually, last night I started 7 days or 8 days of working on one chakra a day, which normally I spread it out over a week, but you can go do this right now. Literally, I think the last video is maybe 10 minutes, but that's because I talk.
It's like 9 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
The one
But
that's up there already.
yeah, you definitely can start aligning
Moons
your
is going to your
chakras.
channel.
Oh, thank you. You can definitely start aligning your chakras in 5 minutes a day, you guys. You've been
I
here for
literally
over an hour. You can spend
mhm.
5 minutes on your chakras. And when you do that, your affirmations will be easier and more believable to you a lot faster. So that's where my connection comes in with the
Yeah.
robotic affirming or whatever.
And if you're
Five
working with
minutes.
your chakras and you still feel like it's too big, that's when you need to bring down you're going too big. The
Yeah.
relationship is too much, bring it back, or the money is too big of an amount, bring it back.
Yeah.
I actually did your all chakra meditation last night, Kimberly.
Yay. Thank you. Well, and I've been doing my chakras like because I did it over on TikTok and then I did it here and I'm buzzing plus my clients. So I'm working with my clients and I'm buzzing and I'm like, damn, I'm feeling really good. So yeah, it's literally you guys 5 minutes. You've spent more than an hour with us. You can take 5 minutes to do the law of assumption, your robotic affirmation, whatever it is that your technique is, and align your chakras. But it's not just well, actually, let me rephrase this. You can do it just one time, but I recommend making it part of your daily habit.
Yeah, I notice when I don't do it. And when
Mm,
I
yeah, I
have
know.
that
We
not
talk
doing
about
it
that.
for a while, it's like, "Oh, man, what am I doing?"
Yeah, and I think you had a question. We were talking the other day, and you had a question, and I'm like, um, do me a favor, scan your solar plexus, and then you're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I haven't done it
I
in
was
a
like,
while. I think we all
"Oh,
need to.
that's not good. That's the problem, Kimberly. Thank you." Yep,
You're welcome.
for
All right.
sure. Alright, you guys have any more questions before we hop off here? Because I know you got stuff you gotta do.
Yep. Well, and I just want to thank. I know some people have come and some people have gone, or they're still here. But I just want to thank you guys for hanging out with us and for Sonia asking me to go live. And yeah,
No,
I
thank you
love
for
my
being
life.
here. This
I
is
love
so
Sonia.
fun, and I hope if you guys enjoy this, I will totally come hang out with you again, Kimberly. Thank you guys so much for watching and asking questions and hanging out.
And I totally. So I'm gonna just like tell y'all. So if you haven't read it yet, Auto Shitism. I'm totally plugging my book because I'm fucking proud. I wrote it in
I
five
got
days.
it too.
And then this is also available. This is my proof, but Chakraology 7 Wheels of Alignment Workbook. This is my actual course in workbook form, and it's on sale on Amazon.
Yep,
It's
that's the course
available.
that I did that she put into a book now, so
Yeah. So again, I tell Sonya all the time. She'll ask me a question, I'll respond, and she'll be like, "You're right, Kimberly." I'm like, "I know, I'm amazing."
yep.
And then she'll say something, I'm like, "God, Sonya, you're just a goddamn genius, you
I
know?"
know, I'm a genius, I know everything. I always have the
So
answers.
we're amazing. So get yourself an intention, buddy.
Mhm.
And I love Sonya, and so thank you for asking me to go live with you today. And
Oh,
again,
I
thank
love you
you
too,
all
Kimberly, and,
for
it
joining.
just made sense, like, it would just not like, it wouldn't make sense if we didn't get on here together, and I'm so glad that we got to do this, and we're gonna have to do it again, and I am
Yeah.
totally up for making it a regular thing if that is what we wanna do. It's so much fun.
Today it's a yes. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Thank you,
This
Moon.
live was great. Thank you. This was so much fun.
Yeah.
And yes, I know we'll watch it like watch it back and be like, "Man, we went all over the place," but it's true to us. That is how we will whenever we talk on the phone. I think our shortest conversation has been like an hour. We
Yeah.
usually talk 2 to 4 hours on the phone, and we'll do this multiple times a week, and this is exactly how our conversations go. We're talking about this, we're talking about that, and it's like, "What about this?" And then we're back over here.
Yeah. We just let the squirrels have free reign because it's
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah.
No judgments. We have a thought
Nope.
and we share it.
Yep. And then we get off the phone and we're like, "What did we talk about?" It's like,
Yeah. And
I
a
don't
lot of times,
remember."
and
We talked about a lot of things.
we've joked for a couple
Um,
years now that maybe we should record our phone conversations. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't think so. I mean, there's
well,
some good shit in there.
there was a point back in the old days where we started a podcast. I
Oh yeah,
deleted
I
those
forgot.
episodes, but we did fucking start a podcast.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah. I don't even know what's on there, and I'm so thankful that I don't know where they
Yeah,
are.
I'm pretty sure I deleted them, so we're safe.
Yeah, good. All right. Well, I've got to go, you guys. Mwah. Love, light,
Yes.
and really big hugs. Thank you so much for being here. Sonia, thank you for having me.
Thank you guys for showing up, and thank you, Kimberly. Like I said, we may be doing this again, maybe making it a regular occurrence. We shall see, because we don't really. Bye. We don't plan shit. So it's a surprise. Like we literally decided to do this like what Tuesday?
Tuesday? Yeah.
Tuesday? Yeah.
Mhm.
And here we are. So
Yeah.
all
I
right. Well, Kimberly, I love you. I love you
love you.
guys. Thank you so much for watching. Love and light.